Hello, friends. Welcome back to another financial analysis for my crypto predictions. We'll cover all of the four predictions that I have for this month, which is already nearing the final days. Today is the 29th of January. So this is going to be most likely the last session for this month. The next time you'll see me will be next week, which will be the next month, February. So yeah, but because of that, I do invite you all to write down in the comments any suggestions that you have for cryptocurrencies that you want me to cover. Of course, you already know that I always cover Bitcoin. It's the most important to cover. It's basically essential to cover Bitcoin because we are still not in the altcoin season yet. Which, talking about the altcoin season, I just released the altcoin season prediction yesterday. So go ahead and watch that video if you haven't already, because it's very, very important. Many people have requested that prediction specifically, so I get completely why, because many people, myself included, have many large stocks in altcoins. Okay, so having said that, again, just an invitation to write down your suggestions, any cryptocurrency that you want me to cover. I'm accepting even meme coins. Please only make it very big meme coins like Pepe or Doge or maybe something like that, because if you give me like a random token, especially Pump Fund tokens, I do predict them, but man, I mean, 90% of them are rocks, so it's basically pointless to do that kind of stuff. Anyways, let's start with this Bitcoin chart. So Bitcoin today had a nice and kind of surprising recovery. I mean, it was a very volatile month right here. It's a very volatile range of days. Told you basically the last days of February, starting from the 28th of yesterday, basically, we're going to be yellow days, meaning that some of these days will be undecided, either very volatile or very rangish. Okay, for example, you see right here, this is the 28th of January, and where the price closed it's lower, slightly lower than the initial position, but you can see for most of the day it was a range, and we just saw very small volatility across the middle of the day, something like that, only to recover. Okay, so it was not really a very crazy day or anything to really of note. Like I told you many times, I usually avoid trading yellow days or yellow boxes because there's usually not much action or very little profit to be made. Like for example, on that day, the 28th, I mean, this is what, the entire day, basically 1% at the very least. You could only trade realistically this at this very small dip, but again, it's very, very small. So unless you have a large position, it's basically worthless to do anything. And today we got a nice pump, nice surprise pump. The price went back to 104k. So it's great. It's welcome. It's a nice range. So far, this month has done better than I expected, but we really saw massive dips somewhere around the first days of January, the first 2 weeks, which basically almost guaranteed a very red month. It's actually after and during the Trump presidency that we got massive volatility. And in the case of Solana, we got an extremely explicit market manipulation. You already know the day when the Trump meme coin, the official meme coin of Trump, launched, which was on the 17th of January, the entire, especially Solana, went just up, and basically they got a new all-time high. So extreme market manipulation, that kind of stuff, only happens very rarely. So it's not very usual to see that. But for Bitcoin, it's pumping right here. Now, for Bitcoin, the next days, again, they could be very undecided because it's a massive range. I just have the final red days on the 30 and 31. So basically the next 2 days. And especially on the 31, I think we could see very powerful corrections. Maybe starting tomorrow, could be also the case. So if that's the case, the worst case scenario could be having 2 consecutive dumps But given that Bitcoin has really tested this level right here on the 97, I don't think it can go lower than that. If it does, I don't think it could reach a similar resistance right here around 95k. Okay, somewhere around these lines. My original prediction, well, it was not a prediction, but my original estimation was that somewhere around this month we could see Bitcoin below 90k, and actually we got that on the big massive crash on the 13th, which was not really that massive. We saw many way bigger crashes on other days. It's just that it's the lowest position of the month, and we saw Bitcoin go below very briefly 90k. So actually my prediction was, my estimation was correct. It's just that I was seeing that this month could be way worse than it actually performed, which is actually good news. That it means that the bull run is, like many people are thinking, unlike many others are saying, the bull run has not even started yet. Okay, we're not even in the peak of the bull run. It's coming, guys. It's coming, and it's going to be very, very big. Okay, like I told you, my estimation is that we could see Bitcoin somewhere around 150k, something like that, maybe beyond that. Okay, so it's not even the peak of the bull run. But yeah, that's basically all I have for Bitcoin, and basically all of the other predictions will be mostly the same. The same ranges, the same yellow massive volatility right here. We saw this for Solana. We do have a very strong signal for very powerful crashes around the last days, basically tomorrow and on the 31. So again, remember, if it's a very bad day, like consecutive corrections, we could see Solana go back to this level right here, which I think it's acceptable, actually reasonable and logical, around this support and resistance, basically around $220, something like that. So yeah, that's maybe at the lower, maybe it could be. Anyways, that's basically my estimation for Solana. In the worst case scenario, we could have corrections, 2 consecutive corrections on the next days. Okay. For Ethereum, we'll see that basically the exact same. I told you many times before that Ethereum, this chart shows these days on the green, but I told you that I was not really seeing that happening because of the poor performance Ethereum has been showing this entire month, of the actual trend that the last circle carries with it. I mean, this trend that it carries, the influence, it's very big, and it usually drags many other days down. Okay, so just because of those 2 factors alone, I was not seeing any of this. And as you can see, we barely see a green day today on Ethereum, just barely. I mean, it's not like Bitcoin, which is a very clear green day. With Ethereum, we had lots of volatility, but basically from the starting point to the current position, it's not even a 1%. So it's quite pathetic if you ask me, for Ethereum. Like I told you, and like many people have been theorizing, there's something wrong with Ethereum. I mean, it's kind of not in the fashion right now. I mean, Solana is still in basically the spotlight. The confirmation that we got is that Trump himself launched his meme coin on Solana and not on Ethereum. So that was a very big confirmation. As you can see, there's a very small correlation for that, because Ethereum actually dropped very hard on the 17th and across the 18th as well. You can see right here, this is the danger zone that I predicted, and Ethereum crashed very hard, unlike Solana, which actually also had that danger zone, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it also had that exact danger zone, but only because Trump launched his meme coin around these hours, I mean, you can see Solana just went straight up, completely ignored the energy for that day. And that's because of the extreme and obvious and explicit market manipulation. Okay, Ethereum got wrecked right there. Okay, Solana is still in the spotlight, and I think if things go like this, Ethereum is going to be only left for the actual OGs of cryptocurrencies. I mean, the gas fees on Ethereum are ridiculous. That's why I basically I do have still some Ethereum left, but I'm not trading any meme coins or what. I'm not even using MetaMask, or I just go Phantom. Ethereum is basically useless because of that. The gas fees, man, they are just ridiculous. And finally, we have the XRP chart. It's the one that shows the most divergence from Bitcoin, which is kind of telling because XRP does have some schizo beeps to it. So for these days, basically many of these days have been complete ranges. Okay, this is what XRP has been showing for at least the last 2 weeks. Maybe around the last 2 weeks, not all of them of course, but many days of the last 2 weeks were ranges, completely boring days. And this one right here today and part of yesterday, basically no exception. Complete boring days. You cannot even trade on these days. That at least that's how I feel it, because like I told you, I usually avoid yellow days unless they show me there's a potential for volatility where I see conflicting and opposite energies around a single day. But unless I don't see that, I'm not really trading this. But yeah, basically the same. The last 2 days, and tomorrow and Friday, we can see and we can expect powerful corrections, okay, across the market, across the entire markets. This is something that is really telling. And just because I just want to share very quickly, in case you have not seen this prediction just yet, this is the altcoin prediction that I told you and I made yesterday. I published this video yesterday. So in case you have not seen this, and if you're watching this just for the first time, yeah, take a minute. If you want to pause the video, do whatever you want. This is the prediction for the altcoin season. Okay, these are the dates where I think it's going to develop, and right here it's going to be the peak of the altcoin season on the last 4 months of this year. So yeah, it's correlating to all of this. There are some really nice and very good things coming for crypto. It's not even most people are still early, I'll argue, because the amount of money, guys, that you can make with crypto, it's life-changing, okay? It's never late. So having said that, I just want to remind you all to subscribe, share, and like. Give me your comments, give me your suggestions, specifically for the next cryptocurrencies that you want me to cover. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.